Welcome back to the Fact Up Podcast. I'm your host, Jim Bambulis, and today we're heading north to Thunder Bay, Ontario. Now, if you've ever wondered what it's like to be Canada's gateway to the great outdoors, or if you ever thought, should I trade Netflix for Northern Lights this fall? Today's episode is for you. Joining me is Paul Pepe, the man who knows his city best. So buckle up, grab a double-double, and let's dive into why Thunder Bay should be on your fall travel list. Fall in Thunder Bay feels like nature's grand finale, my friend. Paint us a picture, will you? What makes autumn here so unique compared to other destinations in Canada?
Well, a really cool thing about living here in Thunder Bay and visiting is Thunder Bay has four distinct seasons. And fall is fantastic because it has so many personalities. September, you still got these beautiful warm days, lots of sunshine here, nice crisp mornings. You start to feel the leaves change, you see the leaves change, you can smell it in the air, and there's just a crispness to fall here. And you can still get out and do all the great stuff. Fall mountain biking is really popular here. September is a great month to explore all the mountain bike trails around here, or bring your road bike and explore, or a gravel bike. Cycling is something that is really popular this time of year. And you can still get out on the water. Water temperatures are still really nice in September, and you can still get out paddling, still get out sailing. And whether it's the big lake, whether it's Lake Superior right at our doorstep here, it takes all summer for Lake Superior to warm up. And so by late August, early September, it's still really a great, beautiful lake. And right now, looking out my window, that lake is really calm this morning in the harbor. And beautiful time. There's some kayaks out there right now. Yes, September, you can still do a lot of those things. Temperature cools down just a little bit, so it's comfortable, and then evening temps are nice and chill, and your morning temps, you get that crispness in the air that just makes it so much fun. Well, for us, usually by about mid-October, the leaves are off the tree. We're just going to start to see the leaves change about mid-September. Lots of golds, lots of yellows, a lot of birch, a lot of poplars up in this neck of the woods. The tamaracks, which are conifers, but conifers lose their needles, and they turn like a fluorescent orange. And so on the landscape, it just pops on the landscape. But we still have really comfortable temperatures right into late October for daytime hiking, walking, exploring, cycling. So it's still a great time to explore and see things with a different lens here.
Many people know Thunder Bay for its outdoor adventures, like you mentioned, but fall
Mhm.
adds a whole new layer.
Yeah.
What are some of the must-do hikes or lookouts
Yeah.
during this time of year that really take your breath away?
Sleeping Giant Provincial Park is still a beautiful destination for a day hike. If you want to spend all day on the trails, that's the place to go. Head out there. Then there's the Thunder Bay Lookout, which you can actually drive to. You actually drive over like a 9 kilometer single track dirt road over the Canadian Shield as you get to the top of the Giant. And there's this cantilevered lookout over the cliffs that looks out back at the city, and you can look down and see the tree line along the cliffs of the park. And as they start to turn, as the leaves start to change, it's just spectacular. A little closer to town, you're looking for a shorter hike. Centennial Park, Trowbridge Forest, the Cascades Conservation Area. A short little hike, couple of kilometers in, and takes you right to these beautiful, the river, the current river, and the cascading waterfalls that come down all over it. Mills Block, another great place close to town for a couple of kilometer hike if you don't have a lot of time. But Sleeping Giant is that epic destination even in the fall if you want to come and do some weekend hiking.
Sounds amazing. And for those who want to get their heart racing and get some exercise with some stellar views, that sounds heavenly, if I may use that word. Thunder Bay has a very strong connection to nature, as you've already discussed, but not everyone is a hardcore adventurer. What are
Yeah.
some of the more accessible, maybe family-friendly experiences that still capture that beauty of the season in Lakehead?
Oh, definitely. Well, we always say, Thunder Bay is Canada's premier outdoor city. And it's not just for those hardcore outdoors people. We always tell folks, play as hard as you want and then reward yourself. And it's really about that intimate connectivity that Thunder Bay has as an urban city to the natural environment around us. It's about being on the world's biggest lake, being on the edge of the, planet's biggest, boreal forest. The fact that, Indigenous people have lived on these lands for thousands of years. And so, and with that traditional, we're on the traditional lands of Fort William First Nation and the Chenavik people of that community. There's a connection there and a connectivity that's very special to the land around us, and so that helps really influence people to have an experience that suits them. So bring the mountain bikes. Even the kids, bring the kids' bikes out to Trowbridge Forest. Shunya Mines. There's dozens of kilometers of mountain bike trails there. There's a pump track for kids. And that is a really great place in the city limits, where the whole family can get together out on the trails together, regardless of their different skill sets. So that's a really, recommended. Boulevard Lake is a great place to walk around. Paved trails, there's cycling trails, walking trails. It's very, very family friendly as well. The waterfront, Prince Arthur's Landing, beautiful, beautiful downtown waterfront. Lots of public art down there. Great cafes, restaurants. Brand new market just opened down there in the old CN station on the waterfront, called the Waterfront Market, and full of artisans and local crafts and a little cafe. Fort William Historical Park, a great historical gem. They got a living farm there. Great for families, great for kids. They're open for daily tours right into October for the season. But we also have some cool stuff going on. We have Blues Farms, that in the fall does their farm weekends, pumpkin events and themed events. And, coming up weekend, Labor Day weekend is always the Heimers Fall Fair. And it is a standard. It's been a standard in this community for generations. And it is an old time country fair. It's about 45 minutes drive from the city, southwest of the city. And tens of thousands of people go out to this farm field in the boreal forest. And it is an old time country fair on Sunday and Monday each year of the Labor Day weekend. But yeah, these events are great family friendly events. We have a surprisingly strong agricultural community here that people don't think about from the north. They don't think of Northern Ontario as being an agricultural hub, but here around Thunder Bay, lots of farms. Some of them are open to the public, do family friendly programming. The Thunder Bay Country Market is just right now at its peak. Crops are coming in, lots of vendors, on Saturday mornings, great place to go grab a coffee, grab local produce, local baking, local meats, and explore. And all these things are great for families.
Amazing. And what's refreshing is that everything is themed. You're not just shutting down for, let's say, a season and then calling it. You're actually reinventing the space and promoting events and experiences that reflect the season.
Oh, completely, Jim. Yeah, that's the really neat thing. Thunder Bay has four distinct seasons, and in temperature, in weather, in the look and feel, and that really manifests itself with our tourism entrepreneurs here in the community, who shift gears in the different seasons, and are offering things that are new and unique for that season. It's also, we got a symphony orchestra here. A lot of folks don't know this, but Thunder Bay has the only professional symphony orchestra between Toronto and Winnipeg. And so, in a beautiful 1,500 seat concert hall that some consider has the best acoustics in North America. So, our Thunder Bay Community Auditorium. And so, for folks that want to get out and explore and get outside during the day, you can reward yourself with a beautiful, symphonic event at night. We also have Magnus Theatre, which is a local professional theater company. They have a beautiful, intimate 250 seat theater. Their 6 productions that they do annually start to come into play in September as well. So they kick off their annual season in September. And so that's the really neat thing, is you can get out, explore during the day, explore that natural environment in and around the city, and then reward yourself at night with this incredible cultural experience or live music or live theater experience that a lot of people don't expect to find in a smaller city.
Right. Well, you mentioned culinary. It's a hot spot, obviously. Thunder Bay is a delicious culinary city. How does that fall season influence those harvest-inspired menus and markets and, regional specialties?
No, that's a good question, and you're right. I mean, Thunder Bay has a surprising culinary scene that, once again, a lot of people don't expect to find in a small city. And And with a strong farm to table community here, we have a lot of farmers, a lot of restaurants that work together. So you start to see some local ingredients more prevalent in the fall on some restaurant menus here in the city. But like as I said, really strong harvest season here in the community. Goods and Co Market. Mid September does they close off a street downtown, and they do a farmers market on a Saturday downtown in Thunder Bay, and it's a fall harvest type theme event, and of course the neighboring restaurants all do their thing around it, and the city just spent like $13 million completely rebuilding the waterfront districts downtown with this incredible 2 block long. It's all cobblestone. It's curbless street, and they can close it down. They can actually transform it from a vehicular street to a pedestrian street very easily. And it's going to be really great. This year will be the first year. We did the first event last week. Last Thursday they did the ribbon cutting and did their first street closure Thursday night artisan market and on the street, and live music on the stage, and the restaurant patios were all hopping, and hundreds of people came out for that. And so this fall harvest market in September is another example of the kind of programming that's going on in the city downtown that once again brings the artisans, brings the farmers in downtown, and helps make those connections between the culinary and the artisans and the consumers. And it's a great time to be here and explore.
That's the whole point.
Yeah,
That's the whole point.
exactly.
The city sits at the crossroads of so many cultures, and you
Yeah.
mentioned our indigenous cultures as well. How do these influences come together when it comes to food and festivals and traditions
Mhm.
during the autumn months?
The strong international cultural elements here in this community and influences from around the world. We've got, as I said, we're on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabeg people of Fort William First Nation. And certainly, they celebrate Indigenous culture every single day here in the community. And a big part of our population in the community is Indigenous. So you definitely see it in the events that they participate in, that they organize, and sharing the culture and knowledge sharing with the community. Anemkiwaju, which is Mount McKay, which Anemkiwaju is Mount McKay. It's on Fort William First Nations, just adjacent to the city. And you can actually drive up to this beautiful lookout that overlooks Lake Superior, overlooks the city of Thunder Bay, and you can actually see the grandeur of the fall colors here across the city. Beautiful powwow grounds there, and they're doing some really exciting work there to improve the experience, to showcase culture with visitors from around the world. Internationally, we've got cultures here from around the world. A lot of European influences, obviously, Scottish, French, Italian, Polish, Ukrainian, German. And we have now, in the last decade or so, our Southeast Asian influences have grown immensely here in the community, thanks to having, university and college here. And so the food scene really reflects that in the fall months as well. Students are just heading back to school now. A lot of students from out of town are coming here for school, and this is the chance where they're seeking those culinary experiences from their own cultures. And one of the big things that Thunder Bay does every fall, Wake the Giant. We talk about culture, cultural diversity here in the community, celebrating Indigenous culture. We can't talk about that without talking about Wake the Giant. When Wake the Giant is being held this year, the first Saturday of September, right down at the waterfront. Massive outdoor music festival, runs all day Saturday. And it's really designed, it really came about as a way to welcome a lot of the regional Indigenous students here who come to school here in the city every fall, and it's to bring them all together and actually, as a community, welcome them all to our community and put on a big show and put on a big concert for them. So this all ages event, it's an annual event. And every year it's headlined by some really big players. So they bring in a lot of Indigenous artists, local and regional and national, who celebrate on stage downtown, right on the waterfront. This year, it's being headlined by the Black Eyed Peas and by Prozac. So a lot of big name acts. And it's really a chance for the community to come together. It's to welcome all the students into the community, into the city for the school year, and it's open to everybody. And that is the must-do party of every fall. As Wake the Giant grows, we hear more and more people who fly up from Toronto just for the weekend just to take it in and just to experience it. So, and then once again, when the concert festivities end at 11, a lot of people, head downtown, head to the restaurant scene, the lounge scene downtown, and keep the party going. So this is a really great time of year, and the weather's still great. In September for these big outdoor festivals, and thousands of people come in for it, not just from the city, not just from the region, but from across Canada, and even some from the U.S. will come up for this event.
Amazing. If
Yeah.
you had to design the ultimate 48-hour fall itinerary for the first-time visitor, what would that look like?
Oh my goodness. Well, the first, a fall itinerary. Well, it's really about our connectivity to our natural environment and celebrating that natural environment. We're an outdoor city, and we always like to tell people, play hard and reward yourself. So I think a fall itinerary. It's a visit to Terry Fox, our visitor center, our lookout. Beautiful views. Overlooking Lake Superior, overlooking the city, and the iconic Terry Fox statue, marking the end of his run. But we also have a great visitor center there that's open 7 days a week, and our staff are incredibly knowledgeable. So head up there for the views, learn the story of Terry Fox, enjoy the views, talk to our staff, get some inspiration. But from there, Kekabeka Falls is a must see in the fall months. Fort William Historical Park. Visit Trowbridge Forest, the Trowbridge Park, Trowbridge Forest, Centennial Park, great for some really mellow hikes. Cascades Conservation Area. All these are really close by. They're all within the city limits, which is really cool, except for Kekabeka, a bit of a drive. Then I'd say, celebrate the end of that day. You're doing a lot of running, a lot of exploring, a lot of short little walks and hikes in nature. Enjoy a meal downtown. Our waterfront district in particular, we have restaurants all through our neighborhoods throughout the city. But head downtown, walk around Tomlin for a decadent meal. Lakehead Beer downtown, Tomlin Subdivision for like Detroit style pizza, Thai Kitchen, Prospector Steakhouse, lots of choices downtown, for a great meal. And then from there, Magnus Theater is located right in the waterfront district. Catch a play, and there's lots of accommodation options. There's everything from a 4-star property to a boutique hostel in the waterfront district, and hotels throughout the city as well. Whether you choose to stay by the airport, or stay downtown on the waterfront, or stay out by the university, lots of options. Get a good night's sleep. Next day, you're going to Sleeping Giant. You're going to grab some Persians in the morning. You're going to grab some of these Persians, which are these, you haven't heard me talk about them before in the podcast, these giant cinnamon rolls with this raspberry, strawberry icing on them. Only found here in Thunder Bay. Fortify yourself with a great meal. Head out, Sleeping Giant, and spend the day out hiking. Spend the day out there. On your way back from the Giant or on your way back out there, stop at the fish shop. This great little place in Shunya, the neighboring community to Thunder Bay, and they have a smokehouse, and they sell locally caught, fresh and smoked fish, smoked trout, smoked whitefish, smoked salmon, all from Lake Superior. And this place has been running for 50 years. Finn family, second generation, and it's a must stop for a little bit of a taste of Lake Superior. And in the daily grind across the street, grab your coffees from there. Brand new coffee shop that opened across the road from there. Head out to the Sleeping Giant for the day. Explore Silver Islet store out there. Then come in for the night. Once again, sleep, explore, eat, repeat. And so once again, there's Bite on the waterfront restaurant. There's the Foundry, Grotto Trattoria. There's Nook. Great modern Italian food in the community as well. So lots of choices. You'll never get bored. In fact, the biggest decision I have to make is, where am I going to eat tonight? Because there's so much choice. And the next morning before, if you're talking about a 48-hour itinerary, roosters for breakfast, walleye eggs Benedict is about as iconic Thunder Bay as it gets for a breakfast, except for Finn pancakes. That's another must-have. But Roosters Bistro downtown in the Waterfront District, great Finn pancakes, great walleye eggs Benedict, and then from there you can fly home. And the great thing is we're so easy to get to from Toronto. Right now we have 8 flights a day. Porter, Flair, Air Canada fly daily from Toronto. Porter flies twice a day from Ottawa. WestJet once a day from Calgary, once a day from Winnipeg. So we're easy to get to.
And next thing you know, you didn't know where that 48 hours went. It's amazing, right?
It goes by really fast. It does. Yeah, you're never going to be bored here.
Paul, what's the one thing about Thunder Bay in the fall that you wish everyone knew that makes you so proud to call it home and kind of inspires people to pack their bags and get there?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things about Thunder Bay is we're just a really friendly, welcoming city. It's about people. You and I were chatting earlier about tourism's a people industry, and it always has been, always will be. And I think one of the things I love about Thunder Bay is that everybody here is really proud of our city and wants to share it with visitors. And visitors feel that when they're here, they feel welcome, and they're going to get recommendations on where to go for the best coffee and for the best cinnamon bun, for the best croissant, for the best dinner and where to explore and where to hike. And I think that's one of the big things about our city is we're small, we're 120,000 people or so in total, and everybody here who lives here is really proud of where we live and loves to share that with visitors. And visitors are going to experience that they're going to feel really welcome here, and they're going to feel that this is a city that really wants people to explore and see it here. And I think that's something I'm most proud of in the fall. And letting people know too that it's not, there's not 3 feet of snow in September up here. That our Septembers, Octobers are really wonderful. They're very moderate in temperature wise, lots of sunshine, lots of opportunities to get out and explore when things, maybe not, the trails aren't going to be as crowded as they are in July and August. Restaurants and hotels may not be as crowded, but people can still explore at their own pace. But that said, come September, our city hosts a lot of business events, a lot of conferences and business events are choosing to come to Thunder Bay too. So for that reason, it's a small city, it's easy to get around, easy to explore, and they feel welcome here. And I think that's our number one thing is, we love welcoming people. We love showcasing what our city's evolved to over the last 20 years.
Sold. Paul Pepe, you are a true ambassador to your city. The backdrop alone makes I feel maybe most people want to kind of pack a bag and just head up there and take advantage of it. Thank you so much for joining us once again on the Fact Up podcast, good sir. An amazing roundup of fall activities and experiences to take in, absorb, enjoy, experience in Thunder Bay. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Jim. Always a pleasure talking to you.